Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump right into today's explainer because we're bridging the gap between cutting-edge cellular science and, well, your bathroom mirror. We're breaking down a science-backed, completely natural approach to reversing those physical declines that just kind of sneak up on us as we age. If you've ever wondered how to genuinely support your body's rejuvenation from the inside out without relying on synthetic cover-ups, you are absolutely in the right place.
Okay, let's dive right into this. For so many of us, especially once we cross into our late 30s, 40s, and beyond, looking in the mirror starts telling this familiar and honestly kind of frustrating story. You know the feeling, right? Your skin just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Those fine lines seem to just linger, your hair might feel a bit thinner, and maybe your nails start splitting when you're literally just trying to open a package. It feels so sudden. But the truth is, it's a deeply biological shift.
To figure out how to fix it, here's our roadmap for today. First, the growth hormone decline. Second, the peptide stack solution. Third, rejuvenating skin, hair, and nails. Fourth, muscle growth and fat loss. And finally, your timeline to results. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The growth hormone decline, the biological root of aging. Let's set up the foundational science of what exactly is powering down inside your cells.
Just take a look at the contrast here between youthful and aging biology. Back in our youth, our bodies had these incredibly robust nighttime pulses of growth hormone, or GH, along with its downstream partner IGF-1. This dynamic duo is what keeps your fibroblasts, basically those little cellular factories that pump out collagen, highly active. But starting in our 30s and picking up speed with every passing decade, this GH and IGF-1 production just goes on a slow, steady strike. We literally lose the natural chemical signals telling our bodies to rebuild, and that drop, that's what directly causes the thinning dermis, the loss of bounce, and those structural changes we see in our hair and muscles.
Moving to Section 2, the peptide stack solution, restoring the body's natural rhythm. How do we safely address this exact hormonal decline?
Well, the answer lies in a highly specific combination. We're talking about CJC1295 NODAC, which is also known as MOD-GRF129, paired up with ipamorelin. As the definition highlights, this is a synergistic research peptide protocol. But what does that actually mean for you? It means it's designed to gently restore your youthful levels of growth hormone. We're not talking about some massive, overwhelming flood here. It happens through short, natural pulses. Ipamorelin acts as a selective secretagogue, which is a fancy way of saying it stimulates this release perfectly, kind of like turning up a dimmer switch, without jacking up your cortisol or stress hormone levels at the same time. It exactly mimics your body's very own nighttime recovery rhythm.
Notice the stark difference in philosophies we're looking at here. On one side, you've got the natural peptide approach. This works by amplifying your body's own production and rhythmic pulses. It leads to a balanced IGF-1 elevation and genuine, real tissue regeneration. Now contrast that with the artificial interventions on the other side. Constant hormone floods, or cosmetic procedures that leave you with frozen expressions or that overfilled look. This peptide stack isn't just masking a problem. It is quite literally turning those cellular factories back on.
Which brings us to Section 3, rejuvenating skin, hair, and nails, rebuilding the glow from the inside out. Let's shift from the internal mechanisms to the visible external benefits, starting with what happens right at the surface of your skin.
So, what does all this science actually mean for you when you look in the mirror? Well, by increasing IGF-1 levels, this stack directly stimulates those cellular factories we just talked about. And the result, a massive boost in type I and type 3 collagen production. These are the structural proteins that are entirely responsible for keeping your skin architecture youthful. To put it simply, this means plumper skin, restored firmness, a much higher capacity to actually hold on to moisture, and a huge reduction in that thin, papery crepiness.
And hey, the benefits flow right into your hair too. Your hair follicle health depends heavily on the length of something called the anagen, or growth phase, and the vitality of the dermal papilla cells right at the base of the follicle. When IGF-1 drops, this growth phase gets cut short. But this peptide stack reverses that process, giving those cells exactly the vitality they need. The real-world benefit? The excessive shedding stops, new hair growth gets strengthened, and that flat-looking hair can actually become full and vibrant again.
And we definitely can't forget about nails. Fun fact, your nails are made up of the exact same keratin protein family as your hair, so the biological upgrades here are practically identical. The stack boosts keratinocyte proliferation and matrix protein synthesis right down in the nail bed. So say goodbye to brittle nails that snap when you're just living your daily life. You're getting faster growing nails with far smoother surfaces and significantly fewer ridges.
All right, Section 4, muscle growth and fat loss, building the body's foundation.
Because as you'll see, the benefits of this peptide stack go way, way beyond just skin deep. Now, what's really interesting about the data here is this massive metric, 2 to 3 times. In comprehensive protocol research, this specific CJC1295 and ipamorelin stack has been noted to produce a 2 to 3 times growth hormone surge. That is a powerful internal metabolic shift that completely overhauls the environment of your muscle and fat tissues.
And check out the downstream effect of that surge. We're looking at an intense fat loss potential of 15 to 24% when this peptide stack is properly optimized over time. That's not just a minor tweak, that is a profound shift in body composition, driven entirely by turning your own natural signaling back online.
So the really crucial point is how this all ties together. That synergistic release of GH stimulates lean muscle growth while simultaneously accelerating targeted fat loss. But honestly, perhaps the biggest game changer for your day-to-day life is how it deeply enhances your overall recovery and improves your sleep quality. You're essentially giving your body gym-quality cellular support. That means the hard work you put in is actually rewarded, and your body can finally repair itself properly while you rest.
Okay, Section 5, your timeline to results, a practical roadmap to rejuvenation. Let's get into exactly when you can expect to actually see these biological changes happening.
Let's walk through this timeline step by step so you have a totally realistic picture. Biological repair isn't some overnight espresso shot, it's a slow burn glow up. During weeks 1 to 4, you're going to start feeling the more subtle changes. Your skin will feel a bit more hydrated, more supple, and you'll just have this rested look even after a really long day. Pushing into weeks 4 to 8, that's when elasticity noticeably improves, those fine lines start to soften, and your skin takes on a much more consistent glow. And then, by months 2, 3, and beyond, the cumulative effects really peak. That's when the deeper plumping of the skin, the noticeably thicker hair, and the much stronger nails fully manifest.
I really want to highlight this exact quote straight from our source material today because it just hits the nail on the head regarding the whole philosophy here. An enhanced version of you that reflects better internal support. And honestly, that's the ultimate takeaway. This isn't about transforming into someone else entirely, it's just about making the outside accurately reflect a healthy, vibrant, fully supported inside.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to support your body's natural rhythms instead of constantly fighting against them? The science behind the CJC1295 and ipamorelin stack proves that we actually have the tools to remind ourselves how to rebuild and thrive again. The only question left is, when are you going to start?